Let me know when we're off mute.
We're off mute.
Oh, did I just say yap and off mute? That's me.
Just now.
Okay, so I need a motion to come back into, it is now 6:27. Can I have a motion to come back in?
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session at 6:27 Central Standard Time.
Perfect. I get a motion for 6:27.
I will. Second, please.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Any opposed? Okay, we're back in. So what we need to do is, the purpose of this meeting at the end of the year is to do budget appropriations. What that means is that we take a look at our overages and our underages, and we need to appropriate any accounts that, did not have enough funds, because we are, we try to keep everything on the up and up. And so Lacey did a great job of doing a year-end in review. I would encourage all taxpayers to take a look at this. We did a fantastic job with our budget. The total budget was $917,000. We came in under budget at 156, but there is $67,000 of supplemental appropriations that are needed. So I think that that is absolutely fantastic. We do have a contingency of $40,000 that we had planned for. And then we have undesignated fund balance of $27,000. For those of you that are curious about where we went over budget, Lacey did a great job of outlining that. One thing I wanted to point out was the first line item that was $39,000. It says counsel and professional services. That includes all professional services fees. So for example, our engineers and our esteemed legal counsel is also part of that. And the counsel is actually a fraction of that. And so the other items are pretty self-explanatory. Public safety, I think there is, that is all of our emergency services, things like that, and our inspectors. And so that's where our overages are. You can see that where we were well within our planning is remaining funds that are unused. Obviously, we're holding our funds for streets, parks, and street assessments. So we'll be utilizing that. I believe part of the parks is already allocated for a project next year once we hit spring. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. So we're sitting pretty well. We did a good job this year, you guys. So with that, the budget appropriations, and then Lacey also created another item in a more of an Excel spreadsheet that you can see the appropriations as well as the special funds. So you can kind of see where we did as a city. And so it looks like, just getting to the right piece of paper there with me here. We have the ordinance 319 of the 2024 supplemental appropriations ordinance. And basically what that does is right sizes all of our overages and allocates them to the appropriate accounts. And then we have that noted per South Dakota state law. And so I need a motion to approve ordinance 319 and give me the authority to sign off on that. Any questions or discussions?
I got nothing.
Lacey made it pretty easy for us, so I just need a motion to approve. Unless you have questions.
No.
Steve, you want to make a motion or?
I don't know if I can.
Okay.
I'm not that smart, dude. I'd like to make a motion to accept this appropriation ordinance.
Okay.
Supplemental ordinance 319.
So this would be the first reading, is that right? Okay, so then we do the second reading in January. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to amend it,
Yes, are
because I
we-
think we had it set to first read on the 18th, so I'll have to amend it to be as amended, please, if
Yeah.
you can. We can do that, right? We can do
Sure.
the second reading in January?
Well, it could be ordinance, it can stay ordinance 319, but this will be the first read.
Right.
Tonight.
Yes.
So we'll have that second reading. Whenever, well, you could have a special meeting if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be so many days apart.
I think it's 5 days.
Okay, okay.
So can you just say, how you would word that is to approve the ordinance as amended?
Well.
Or wait a minute, no, this is,
That's the first reading to be
Yeah,
today.
the first-
okay, never mind.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
The
So Steve, you just
the
say,
city of Baltic first, or the ordinance 319 is gonna be the first reading.
Yep.
And
Today's date.
today's date is 30th, right? August 30th, 2024. To accept the motion,
The appropriations.
appropriations, yeah.
Mhm.
There we go.
So do we have to make a motion on that? Because first reading is just a first reading.
First reading is just first reading.
Yeah, so we're good to go there. Okay, so we got the first reading down.
That's good.
Perfect. And then, we're on to late fees. So if you recall, last month, we had a discussion, or in our last meeting, I should say, we had a discussion about water late fees and what we could do to incentivize citizens to pay in a more timely fashion. I believe our current late fee is $10. And we had had some discussion that council is looking to increase that. So Nikki, I think the floor is yours.
Were we gonna move that to the ordinance?
I think we need to do it, well,
Looking at the ordinances. And of course, we're doing this a little bit on the fly. But it appears to me that the sewer rates and the water rates are set by ordinance.
but our late fees.
Well, I don't see a provision for late fees.
So Nikki, I think
We're
that,
doing this a little on the fly.
but if we do it under the contingency of your full review, then we should be okay.
We should be okay.
So you want me to make a motion then?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to, increase the water late fees from $10 to $25, effective January of 2025, upon the receipt of John Hughes vetting our information that we've provided.
All right, we got a first on the table.
Second,
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
aye,
Any opposed? Okay, well, then the motion passes and John will look to your advisement.
Yeah.
Okay,
There is a provision for late fees, so I'll give you a full review.
thank you.
You bet.
So now, water, garbage and sewer rates, there's also been discussion about these rates and what we should consider. So Brian, I'm going to give you the floor on this.
So I would like to look at for next year, I'd like to look at I guess I'm saying 5% increase on water and sewer and potentially garbage. Ryan has mentioned several times, we've got some sewer projects that are gonna be coming up, that we're gonna need funds for. We know eventually we're gonna have to do a water tower. It's gonna be pretty costly. And right now, we are currently the cheapest water sewer rates in Minnehaha County.
Mhm.
And it's pretty substantially cheap, honestly. And I guess I would like to look at doing an increase on those now to make the burn a little less when we have to end up doing those projects. If I turn around and doing the surcharge. So I just ballpark kind of looking at it, I was looking water sewer at like a 5% raise. It was about 25,000 per water and 25,000 sewer per year. Well, if we did this and we're 5 years out, say for instance, on this sewer water project, that's a lot smaller surcharge down the road. And honestly, 5% on the grand scheme of things after the last couple of years of price increasing, 5% I feel is very, very minimal.
And Ryan, you also added that it should be expected that there's projects that are up on the way that we're going to have this funding. So doing smaller incremental increases
Yeah,
is going to be painful nonetheless, but a little less painful
yeah.
as you boil the
literally,
frog.
Look like ballpark, I want to say it's like $10 or $12.
Yeah, I think we figured the minimum right now is 104.77. It would be around 115.
Yeah.
So it's really not a huge.
And honestly, I think that still has us at the smallest
Right.
Mhm.
water sewer bill in the county.
I think this
And
is,
it's still considerably smaller.
I think it's really important that we educate the citizens about the comparable rates and specifically what we would do with the money so they understand what's coming, because these projects are no joke and they're very expensive and we're going to need to do them.
Right. Well, we, when we had this last one, it wasn't huge. It was $16, right, in the search.
Mhm.
But there's people that was upset. They were upset.
Oh,
And I get it. I mean, I totally understand that. But I think to just ignore it today and then have it come up as a big surprise later is a huge mistake.
Well, also,
We can be bankrolling this.
I think we can also acknowledge that previous administrations didn't necessarily build a nest egg for our city, which could have happened year over year over year over year. It's just not been a common practice to establish coffers for us to be able to take care of our citizens. So then these moments of projects, it feels like a negative impact when really it's just the cost of having a city. As a collective community, it's just the cost of living.
I'd like to be ahead of it instead of finding.
And I don't know if we'll ever be ahead of it, but we can certainly try.
Making attempts, yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that we need to still get our messaging out.
it'll slow down the hemorrhage.
Yes.
Yeah, is there a spot we can post that information
For
on
like,
the website,
Mhm.
city website? Yeah.
I can also in G-Works, I can send out a notice or like a public notice
Yeah.
to all the residents.
We could also do an additional insert with the water bill for those that get it in the mail,
Right.
just so they understand where we sit with other cities.
One of our closest neighbors here in Del Rapids just did this exact same thing. And
To prepare,
that
yeah.
would be above our level too, so,
Yeah.
so.
So let's work on messaging. There's no motion that we need to make at this
Nope.
time. But I think it's important that we keep this in the forefront of everybody's mind. So on to personnel salary and payroll resolution. Upon discussion, I'd like to make the recommendation to give Ryan Fods and Lacey Harrington a 5% annual increase, as well as for elected officials for the year of 2025. So I just need a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the 5% pay raise.
Okay,
Second.
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
I,
Any opposed?
Can I add something to that?
I would love that.
So, on the council pay raise, I'd just like to say that the $500 pay raise on that is literally less.
You mean the 5%?
5% is literally less than $200. And the historic problem we've had in Baltic is getting people to take these seats. So I think that there has to be some incremental increases there as well to make it attractive for people to give up their personal time to come here and do this job.
Agree.
Fire safety.
yeah,
Thank you, Brian.
There's a time commitment and it's a give and take and you're giving up time for other things. And we want people to run for these positions.
I appreciate the additional information. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's everything we have for this year of 2024.
Starting January 2025.
Yes, for the fiscal year of 2025. So the only thing I have left is an adjournment.
I have a motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
That being storm.
Are you going to vote aye?
Aye.
Nikki?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good night, Baltic. Thanks, Nikki.